Hey Libra, what's up, what's good, what's happening? Welcome in, welcome back. This is going to be a general message for Libra, the cross watcher, anybody that's drawn here. Take what fits, leave what doesn't. If none of this hits home, just try a different message or a different reader. I won't be offended. And let's get into it. I'm going to pull from the Light Seers Tarot. And then I'm going to pull from, the Work Your Light Oracles. And then the Light Seers Tarot. There we go. I'm hearing in order. Aww. It sounded like Dumbledore to me. Anyways, the initiation, rite of passage and crossing the threshold. This is when you're coming out of a dark night of the soul. Please. Please. Some of us are so fucking ready to come out of this one. We've been here for years and just... we tap. Where's the white flag? Because I need to wave that son of a bitch. Look, here we go. Fucking towel. White flag. I don't want to be one of God's strongest soldiers anymore. I want to be on a beach with a coconut in my hand and a fucking straw. The crumpling. Yeah, that's why. That's why. This is the Tower in this deck. What are you clinging on to? God, it was dark here, wasn't it? Yuck. Ouch. It was dark. It was cold. Crawling in the dark, now my limbs are cold. Screaming out help, but it just echoes. Only one way out of here. I don't think I can reach it. Everything I hold dear, erased by all of my demons. Ooh, my sorry is sincere. I just lost all of my reasons left to stay. And then it's Starseed. You know that you're not from here. Ooh, somebody may have actually asked to go home. Yeah, like I said, ouch, dark, cold. This was dark. This was very dark. In the epicenter, though, in the middle, because I actually pulled 5 cards for this one, Libra. Usually only... I'm having a stroke. I usually only... Here we go, I did it. Pull 3 or 4. In the middle is the ever unfolding rose. Yes, this is uncomfortable. If you look at how she's positioned, she is leaning backwards and she is only being held up by that silk ribbon. You know, like that's the only thing that's holding her up is this half a blanket or scarf or whatever. You know, it's not even a lot of material there. So it's very uncomfortable, but this is happening for you, not to you. So it's almost like, you know, you asked God to be strong, so he gave you trials and tribulations. You asked him to be brave, so he gave you scary shit to conquer, you know? Yeah, man. Some way, somehow, there's a part of you that asked for this. I think it's just a part of the contract. Yeah, it's a part of the contract. We're so fucking brave. Like, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, all right, let's do it. Let's go be a human and do all these things. And then you come down here and you're human and you're like waving the white flag. The fuck was I thinking? We're so brave. Till we gotta do it, right? Till it comes time to... I shouldn't say that. That's kind of foul. Boss up or shut up, I'll say that. 7 of Wands. Here we go again with the goddamn defensive. Sorry, I hate saying that word. It's forever. It's never ending here. Maybe that's why it's coming out. Maybe it's about to. This looks very much like the unfolding rose here. Like, this is as far as I can bend. This is as far as I can go. if I bend any further, I'm going to snap. That it's kind of like knowing your limits. Knowing your limits. You know what's interesting? I almost feel like throughout this dark night of the soul, you've kind of learned this calmness, this content, this less reactionary. Yeah, you're not as reactive. You spend more time thinking and processing. You kind of skip over the immediate, are you fucking kidding me? And having a moment, and you like skip that. You do it, but you do it in your head. You don't do it for everyone in the room to experience it. You're just like, you're taking it all in, you know, you're kind of letting it sink in here. And you're like, that's about as much as I can take. And you need to excuse yourself from the room, you do so. I kind of feel like you've excused yourself from many rooms, if I'm being 100%. I think you've been isolating. You recognized that you needed some alone time, and you took that opportunity. But here's the thing, you're actually doing the work. By the time you're done in this isolation mode, you have a second chance. Sun came out, as well as whatever else is here. I want to get into that though. So 7 of Wands and the Sun. The Fool, the 9 of Wands, the 10 of Wands, to the High Priestess. Oh, Libra. You're pulling at my heartstrings today, huh? I feel like in order for this to make as much sense as it needs to, I need to explain to you the High Priestess. She's one of the cards that has many meanings attached to her, but it's because of who the High Priestess is and what that means. I know everybody wants me to teach them tarot. You guys have been asking me for a minute now, so I'm going to teach you the High Priestess. The High Priestess is someone who is chosen, sure, but she is like a cat. She is half in, half out. She is a gatekeeper. She can go into the other realms and come back. And she has this natural protection placed over her so that she can do this, because when she goes to these other places, she is doing things. And I feel like you do this a lot, especially in your sleep. I feel like you do this a lot. You travel, the amount of gifts, the amount of abilities, the way that you use certain colors for color theory. Everything you do is with purpose. You don't tell everybody that, though. If they ask, you'll hint at it, right? If they ask, you'll tell them, but you don't just go, right? Somebody says, oh, I like your shirt. The High Priestess is immediately not even going to be like, oh, I got it from TJ Maxx, or oh, I got it from wherever, or oh, thank you, you know? No, the High Priestess' first thought is, are you sending me evil eye? You like my something? Because I'm telling you, if you say you get a new vehicle, and we've all been here, I know that because it's right here. Like, the High Priestess knows better. She learned the hard way. You learn the hard way. Some of the things you learn. When somebody says, I like your new car, and then 2 weeks later it gets in a wreck and it's totaled, that's evil eye. So when somebody says, I like your shirt, I like your car, I like your purse, I like your shoes, the High Priestess is immediately like, I need to protect my stuff before it falls apart. Because that's what happens. It's called jealousy. And jealousy is one of the, well, it's not directly jealousy, it's the envious, but it's a deadly sin. And she knows better, right? So where everybody else is saying, oh, thank you, I just got it. I got it here. You should grab it. It's still on sale. She's like, let me check my protective jewelry and make sure I'm okay. You know, it's different. She is different. She is the original black sheep, okay? She doesn't fit in. She doesn't fucking want to, okay? She's followed by so many others just because she can be herself and truly not have the people-pleasing issue holding her back. You know? Like, she is sought after. She is loved and appreciated in ways that she'll never know, but she knows. But she doesn't need to know. Does this make sense? Like the High Priestess, she's like the goddess that uses black tourmaline, which is a protective crystal, as eyeliner. That's who did it, right? When you hear about people that work with deities, some of the people that work with them are considered a high priestess of, right? So, say somebody is working with Hecate. If they have worked with her and they really know her, and at this point, when Hecate calls, they hear and they know and they understand and they move into action and all of that, that could be recognized as a high priestess of Hecate, right? So it's not just being in that goddess high priestess energy. It's also combining that with others that are the same, right? She is the medium. She is the gray. She's not white. She's not dark or black or whatever, right? High, low, end of the spectrum. She is the fence, right? Like, I don't know how to explain this other than I think I nailed it, to be quite honest with you. But she is so many things, you know. It's one of those cards that has a million different fucking meanings to it. But to embody the High Priestess, there's a reason that I cry when I see that you have evolved to here, because this means so much. This is the most psychic card in the deck. This is the highest evolved version of a spiritual person. Like this. You've never been so clear. You've never been so on your path. You've never been so in your purpose as to when you are in the High Priestess. You have really let some shit go. And what's wild is like when you were wounded and there was this vice, the only thing that would hold you together, you just kind of looked at it one day and immediately there was so much resentment and you chucked that in the bucket too. And it's like you would rather be left with nothing and just feel all the things that you have to feel and finally let it in, forgetting that that's how you also let it out. You gotta stop pushing it down. You have to let it come up. You have to let it surface, and then you can let it go. Instead of keep pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down, wondering why you're fucking constipated. It's a spiritual thing. That's why. That's why the apple juice ain't working. It has nothing to do with your physical ailments. This is all your emotional, and your emotional is connected to your nervous system. For those of you that need it explained in a science way, there you go. There is scientific proof of all of this. Ascension and astral traveling, like I mentioned in your dreams. There are documents online. They're public. Anybody can read them. It's a little confusing, yeah, but like once you get to the meat of it, they literally give you the step-by-step how to do this stuff. It's fucking real. Y'all be watching Stranger Things thinking, oh, that's fun. Oh, yeah, well, it's real. That was the Montauk Project. Like, and in that show, there's the girl that opened a doorway to a whole new, like, she created this whole new space, this whole new universe, this whole new rip in the timeline. That's High Priestess energy. You have that ability. If only heaven had a phone. The fuck do you mean? You can literally go to sleep and go travel to heaven and visit with your family up there and then come back down here before your alarm goes off. Some of you have a mundane job right now because you're doing this much in the spiritual. You have an easy job. Well, it might be a little demanding with the hours and such, but for the most part, it's not that difficult of a job because you need to be able to think, to process. I'm seeing somebody that's like, you do deliveries. I don't know if you're driving a truck or a car. I don't know what you're doing. DoorDash, Uber, UPS. You're doing deliveries somehow. Maybe you work for a pizza joint in your area. I don't know. But you have a lot of free time to think. You have a lot of time to think. There's something about your job is fairly easy because you daydream a lot. But your daydreaming is what is expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness. It's all those what ifs, right? What if we are Horton Hears a Who on a little dust bunny? What if we are the world in between the waters above and the waters below? What if all the shit, right? What if is very strong with you. And I think essentially these what ifs are coming from your higher self trying to clue you in on some shit because you are the high priestess. Therefore, you can handle the information. Also, we know you're not going to go blabbing to people that don't need it because you recognize that wasting your time is not worth anybody's effort, you know? 16:36 on the timer. It's the first time I looked at it in this reading. But yeah, you are just letting go of whatever it is, even if it's just a vice. It's somebody's getting ready to let their walls down. But it's because the grass is about to be greener where you are. You probably feel like you are being birthed into something new. And that's kind of how I'm seeing it, you know? Somebody coming out of the womb, and then you got mom and dad standing right there looking at you. There's something about you are being birthed, you know? And what happens when you're birthed? You come out naked and they wrap you in something, right? You can't even hold your fucking head up on your own. There's something here about you are being birthed. Except, what's different about it is your light and your dark are here. Because you did all that work in the shadow. You let all that stuff you keep shoving down come up. Like, your skin is healthier, your hair is healthier, your sleeping habits are healthier. People are going to tell you that you're glowing. Somebody's going to get a pregnancy test because you think you're pregnant because so many people are telling you you're glowing. You're not. You are not pregnant. You are just like, there's something so much healthier about you, and people can see it. It's your aura, right? Aura points. You are the aura. Fuck aura points. You are the aura. Do you understand me? Because what is aura without oracle? That's the high priestess. She's the oracle. She's the medium. She's the psychic. She is the connection between the living and the whatever you want to call the other one. Right? The physical and the spiritual. She is the gap, the bridge between the gap. There's also a heavy sense of protection that you have on you right now that I do believe you should keep is the your information. There are several things that you know about yourself and other immediate connections. You're not saying anything. I feel like even if somebody was to ask you about your guys' connection, like, you can just tell they're not ready. Or their understanding of this type of connection is not the same as what the connection is. Therefore, Maybe you just feel like you're not sure how to explain it to them in a way they would understand it yet either. And that's fine too. Choosing patience and let me just wait. Let me give that some time before I approach it, right? Like that could also be what's going on here. You're not jumping the gun. Like I said, you're very reserved. You're not very reactive. Maybe you used to be, but you are not. You're not anymore. This is going to throw some people off because they're going to be like, why the fuck is High Priestess so calm? Usually they're a lot louder. Usually they're a lot. I almost wonder if there was some masking going on and you're just not worried about wearing a mask anymore. You'd rather be you, be yourself, for better or for worse, whatever the case may be. That protection that you got going on is off the charts. Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, this is all about you and that self-love and healing the heart, healing the emotions. It's healing so much. I'm actually hearing somebody's IBS is not going to be acting up. Yeah, because you're no longer spiritually constipated. So the release can happen now. 10 of Pentacles. Like, talk about legacy energy. You are the legacy. Why do you think you went through so much? Heavy is the head that wears the crown, my guy. You're going to need a chiropractor after that shit, you know? I'm also seeing, I got to be careful how I say this. Now, I'm not a doctor, so I can't diagnose or recommend or anything like that. I am simply telling you what I'm already seeing. If this isn't you, this isn't you. This is not guidance. This is not advice. This is something that you already have planned. That's it. Okay. Somebody wants to drop a medication because you researched it and you're like, what the fuck am I putting into my body? And you are finding a natural herb, one that you might even be able to grow at home, and it does look like it's working. But I want you to be so very careful when you go through this process. Again, I'm not recommending, I am not condoning, I'm simply recognizing what you're already doing, and I'm just simply asking that you be very careful. Okay? Be very careful, be very mindful, pay attention to your body and how it's reacting to this. Okay? Kudos to you if you can do that. If it does work, that's awesome. It does actually look like it works. But just please be very, very careful. Okay? That's all. That's all I wanted to say on that. So I'm going to leave this right here, and I'm trusting that this is helping who it needs to, how it needs to. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, mwah, stay beautiful.